They're just throwing there. They're playing.
Okay, this is Nutmeg Blazing Leaves Cash Spiel. This is playoff game between team. I'm sorry, tiebreaker game to see who gets to go into the playoffs between Team Guzman and Team Klein. That's the first stone that we just saw going down the ice, playing on sheet B. That was the red stones, which is Team Guzman. So Klein and the yellow stones has the hammer. This is Craig Steffen, by the way. It's a big game for these two teams. The winner plays on. The loser goes home. They made it into the playoff actually based on their draw shots that they had to take at the end of the games, and they added up the distance from the pin to the stone, and the teams with the lowest distance actually got ranked higher, and these were the two highest ranked teams that had of three that could get in, I believe. They've only had about I guess about a 30-minute break, maybe 40 minutes since their last game.
I think they could have had more time off, but
Yeah, they opted to go ahead and get started and get this play-in game done. Team Klein calling for a draw in behind those two high guards.
they were doing that in other games too.
Coming up a little short, got three sweepers on it. All right, so Team Klein is Barry Klein, Steve Nix, David Folkins, Folks, Kevin Polly, and Joe Barbagallo. I will admit I don't know. That's five people, and I'm not sure which four on the ice other than Barry Klein. I'm sure the skip. And then Team Guzman is Benj Guzman, Daniel Simard, Mark Sampson, Mike McKenzie, and Jim Fitzgerald.
Guys, wait for this draw. Potential 3 games. This is a $500 game.
Yeah, yeah. Ed Simia sitting here next to me. Aside from getting into the playoffs, this game means a little bit in terms of it is a cash spiel. First time in at least 10 years here in the GNCC. First ever, I believe, for Nutmeg cash spiel. And so they're playing for, if they make it into the playoffs tomorrow, they're guaranteed $500. And I believe first place takes home $1,400. Yeah. And Team Klein Stone is on its way. Again, it looks like they're trying to throw the draw around the guards.
No. We'll get at least.
So I'm guessing the ice is a little slow because we have a lot of guards up front, even ones I wasn't expecting them to be throwing the guard. Which is good for Team Guzman. A little bit of a challenge for Team Klein. Team Guzman Stone is on the way. And again, it looks here they're just going to pile some more up front, make it really hard to get in around all those stones. It's early on, trying to figure out the ice. It's usually a little slower in the first in. Yeah, a little bump kind of opened it up. There may be a big enough gap to sneak one through there and draw one into the house. Team Guzman does have one in the top 8 that bumped in. I just heard that Guzman is a Broomstone team, and Klein is out of Plainfield, New Jersey. So Broomstones is up in Massachusetts, not too far from Boston, to the west, and Plainfield is over in central New Jersey. All right, so Klein stone is coming down the ice, and they're trying to draw it in underneath, but I think they're going to bump the guards. Yeah, it curled a little bit more than I thought. And so Guzman, without the hammer, is actually looking pretty good right now because they got such a wall of stones up front. And they're actually going to try to promote their other red stone that is out front, a little bit left of the center line. Trying to sneak a steal in here in the first in.
Sorry, I'm trying to also.
All right, so the promotion stone is on its way. Going to try to hit that front left red one and just tap it into the house. Need to hit it just a little bit off center. Here it comes. They're sweeping hard. They got it on the nose. May have been a little too much, so it's going to go right through. So they didn't hurt their defensive position, but didn't put another one in either.
Just slide over.
What do you got to fix? Oh, yeah. Okay, so on the chat stream, we hadn't actually updated the names of the teams, so Ed Simia is taking care of that problem right now. On the ice, looks like Team Klein is now trying to do the promote on their own Yellowstone. Sweeping really hard, going down the middle. Looks like they're going to get contact, but it may over curl. Yeah, it ended up kind of bumping two of them.
It might take a while to populate, but
you need to. Okay.
You know what? Why don't I? If you really want me to.
Yep.
We only have 2 viewers. You know, might be a good idea, Craig.
Say again, Ed.
With only 2 viewers, just say that the stream was going to go down for like 5 seconds, and it'll come right back up.
Okay, we're going to reset the stream. Let's wait. Let's wait to see what happens with this shot right here, and we're going to shut it down and bring it right back up.
Just to make sure it populates in YouTube as the tiebreaker draw.
Okay. All right, so we're going to lose maybe a minute or so here, if not less than that. All right, that stone came up. Just more junk in front. Okay, we'll be right back. You want to make a note about that so you know it's split into 2.
Yeah, but it'll only be the first.
Yeah.
Back.
All right, we're back. Just did a quick reset to get the live stream part of it up. So now people will see the right names. Early on in the first in, we're just about up to skip stones. Team Klein puts another guard up, but it comes up a little short, going out in a slow ice way out there on the edges, and and they ended up hogging it. Okay, Team Guzman. Team Klein now actually is counting with one in the top 8 at that shot before when we went down briefly. Team Guzman is now shooting, and it looks to me, judging from where that broom is, that they're going to try to double, hit a yellow back into the yellow and split it out. Not clear. They could also be trying to hit their red, but I don't know if they could pull that off. Depends on how hard they're showing, because they could angle raise their red in. That's also a good shot. Kip is watching close. The sweepers are on it hard. Looks like it's going to come up a little short, though. It's just not going to have enough punch. Good line, good angle, but not enough power. Yeah. There comes Eric Sebastian, fresh from his victory in the last game. Ed Sabia did pull off a quite dramatic win. Had to steal 2 and an eighth in to steal one to tie it in the eighth, and then stole another one to win in a bonus extra end. Both teams had real good shots. Both of those last two ends were great tight ends. Came down to the last shot both times.
I threw one too.
Okay, Team Klein counting one with the hammer, or they got one in the 8 foot, the counting stone. Looks like they're going to try one way out in the weeds and draw it in around the side. So going to have to put a little power on this to get all the way in. Calling for the top 12 there. I presume, obviously, you'd want to be out counting the red that's there. But he doesn't want to leave this exposed for an easy hit and roll. So the best shot would bury, tuck in right behind that red, the top 4. Ooh, this is hot, but he knows he's out in the weeds. All about how much it slows down. It is slowing down. Now they're sweeping on it. They're going to be in. Looks like they will be counting, but they are going to be a little exposed. But it's actually a nice shot because if they hit that yellow one now, the red would not be counting. I don't know whether they have one or two. Kind of doesn't, well, it does matter because they could miss. But they'll certainly go for the takeout and try to chip it out and roll underneath their own red stone, be counting. Only have to go a couple stones in. All right, takeout shot is on its way. It's got lots of energy. It's all about the line now. The sweepers are just walking along, so there they go. There they got on it, and they got the hit and the roll. Very nicely done. I don't think they're counting now. Let's take a look at that. We've only got one sheet to worry about, so far B. Let's fade over. We'll keep this view for this last hammer shot here. So he's got an open draw for 2. It's definitely yellow is counting. So he just got to make sure he doesn't bump the red. That's his only real danger. He's getting lots of ice way out there on the edge of the 12-foot. It will still be slow, but all he has to do is full 8 gets him 2. All right, stone's on its way. Sweepers are kind of going along, doing a little cleaning. Now they're on it hard. And it's coming in pretty hot. Looks like yellow's going to get 1 here. Yeah, he just didn't. He wanted to make sure. Okay. He swept it out the back. So Klein jumps out to a 1-0 lead after the first in. And they're pushing stones. Over here to the scoreboard. Yellow.
Sorry, man.
Okay, so after 1 in, it's 1-0 Klein. Calls for the center line guard, as you'd expect. Looks like it might be a little slow. They're sweeping pretty hard. It's all you got to do is get it across. They don't mind a 2 or 3. I think halfway there, but it's going to come in very nicely. Going to slightly over curl across the center line. Here it comes. Oh, my bad. I apologize. We're going to take a look and see where that stone ended up because I forgot to change the camera. There it is right there. Nice guard. And now I'm going to go back to the There we go. Back to the virtual so we can see the delivery and the arrival of the stone and the above the house shots. So Klein put up a nice guard. Guzman is going to put out a corner guard. Looks like the ice may be speeding up. Actually, I take that back. Which way is that spinning? Yeah, they're going for the corner guard. It is they're actually going to put it in. No, I misread the spin. I didn't see the handle they called for. They were trying to draw underneath the guard. They drew it all the way to the tee line, but it is not buried, so Klein will probably call quickly for the takeout, and he does.
We wrote it in the rules.
Yeah, that actually makes it easier for Jerry to put the...
Nice takeout. And they hung around. They would have preferred that to roll underneath the guard, so Clyde immediately calls for a return the favor and hit. Would love to roll underneath the front guard. Sweeping hard to try to add a little bit to the curl. There's the hit. Oh, they missed. They missed. I still haven't learned to try to call line from 30 degrees off the line of the stone. It doesn't work very well. All right, so with that miss, Team Guzman will now try to put one right underneath that front yellow guard, probably top four. Sweepers are walking along pretty gently, giving it a little clean. They think it's got plenty of power. They're around the guard. Oh, they're sweeping hard. So I spoke too soon. They are on the guard and they split them up front. I think they got surprised by the amount of curl on that shot.
Thank you.
And here comes Guzman, quickly calling the takeout again. I'm guessing they won't miss this time. No sweep and contact. Oh, but it just chips it and goes out on the other side. All right, still a little early on learning of the ice going on. So Klein has an opportunity here to put one in underneath his own guard and be counting two. He calls for the draw through his own port. Plan B could be the little split on that front one and just junk it up front. But the call was for the draw. Sweepers are sweeping hard. Here they come. And I think they're going to get that plan B I mentioned. 3 stones up there. Now, he definitely called for the draw underneath, but that's a fine result. All right, but Guzman still has the hit and roll as a potential shot, and actually now he's got even more guards to hide behind, so if he can pull it off, it'd be in a good place. Stone's on its way. Those sweepers are letting it curl. Now they're on it, so they think it's going to miss the guard. There we go. And contact, and no roll. Okay. Clean take, but didn't get the roll, so they're counting one, but they're exposed. Klein will now try to do the hit and roll themselves. Of course, they're going for the steal. Easy way to get that is to chip the red stone out and slide underneath all those guards. Yeah, I hear that they had a puppy dog in the house in the last draw. I heard the dog barking. Oh, that's why it was so. All right, here comes the takeout. Definitely got contact, but again, got the nose, and or just slightly off the nose, and did not roll underneath, rolled the other way. So Guzman immediately calls for the takeout. All right, here comes the stone. Going to get the hit and a little roll. There we go. Somebody got the good hit and roll. Beautiful one, actually, now quite buried underneath the guards and biting the button. So Klein will probably try to raise one of his Yellowstones into that red. That's what he's looking at. Going to take a look at the angles. All right, so he's got the broom down. He's going to hit that stone that's just on the center line. Try to hit it right on the nose and go back and knock the red out. Perfect shot. You're just barely off the nose. Sweepers are just walking along now. They're on it hard. Trying to get it right onto the stone. There we go. Bump. Oh, it actually overcurled a little bit and it came back and missed. All right, so Guzman is happy with the situation and now he can draw in underneath. He's sitting two. So he's trying to draw through that little port. It's pretty tight. They think they can make it through. Their sweepers are really pounding on it, so they know it's going to, looks like he's going to come up light. He's going to end up crashing into the guards up front, I believe. They're sweeping really hard. They're trying to get it in. Well, yep, and a little bump. Okay. Although that was not the shot called, it actually turned out to work. It makes it very difficult for yellow to run one back because now they have to do a very difficult angle raise on their Yellowstone. It's off the center line to the right. That looks like what they're looking at right now. They're looking at the angle raise. You have to have the right weight and the perfect hit and the angle. It's usually easier to talk the stone to the nose than it is to hit at a specific angle off the nose. Just a little more work, a little more coordination between the sweepers and whoever's in the house. So we're into Vice Rocks here. Oh, is this the first? Take that back. This may be the first skip stone for Team Klein. All right, stone's on its way. Sweepers are just kind of hanging around out with it. Now they're on it a little bit. And they're trying to get it just off the nose, but it's starting to curl a bunch. They're pounding away. And it's going to curl too much and just kind of rattle things around up front a little bit. So now the redstone is really well protected. There is a little bit of a gap there. They'll probably try to draw through that gap or plug it up. Depends on how aggressive Guzman wants to get. He's calling to draw it in. He's calling to draw it in. He just tapped near the 4 foot. It's early on. If he comes up short, he's fine. The only thing that would be bad here would be to put one in deep into the 8 foot that's still visible. All right, the shot's on its way. They're trying to draw through that little port. We got one sweeper sweeping hard to get a curl. Now they're both on it hard. Up, and now they're off. So they must like the line. All about the weight now. Looks a little toasty, though. Yeah, I'm afraid it's going to have too much. And here comes the opposing skip to do a little work on it. But they're not going to get rid of it. It's going to be in the back 12 or biting the back 12. So Team Klein immediately calls to throw the draw down to the red one, I believe. They could actually come all the way to the button and be counting, but it's a challenging shot, second shot without the hammer. So at this point, what Klein wants to do is just make sure they don't get a shot for 3. So they'd love to be, because red right now, Guzman right now is counting too. So they got a little work here. They got to get one well into the 8 foot. They'd love to bury it, cut them down so it's hard for Guzman to get more than one. And that was the call. Oh, nice draw. Here it comes. It's a little toasty, though. They're going to sweep it back. Somebody's going to jam on the back red. That's okay. It leaves Guzman with with the same shot, same draw for 2. But they got to get the 4 foot. Not a gimme shot at all. All right, so the shot's on its way. They're letting it curl. Looks like it's a little toasty. Is it going to chip the yellow? Is he going to give them 2? And it does, but they're sweeping it hard. Oh, and a little bit of a roll, so I think it's just going to be 1 red. They're pushing stones around. They're thinking about measuring. So it's close enough from the video. Yeah, I don't want to make the call. Get that laser out. This year we just got a new laser measure. We also have a mechanical device that measures. They're going back and forth looking at it, and here comes Craig Doucette, president of Nutmeg Curling Club. He's going to come out and probably do the measure. I don't know if that's the rules or not for this kind of a tournament. But it looks like he's going to do it. He's going to use the good old-fashioned measurement tool, which is essentially a micrometer attached to some sliding metal poles, so you can measure the distance from the center out to the stones that are in question. So he's cooling it off on the back of the hack, back near the hack or behind the hacks, getting the metal tips cooled down a little bit. All right, so this is so he'll place the little pivot point right dead center on the button, which has a little hole in the ice that it fits into. Swing it around, and then adjust the micrometer so as it bumps into each stone, you get a direct reading on the dial on top. And I have seen measurements where after doing the deflection and reading the dial, you could not tell, which means the difference in the difference was a micrometer. Okay, so Craig pushes in the red stone. Oh, wait a second. Oh, now he pushed in the yellow stone. So I'm not sure what the call was there. What? All right. It'll be obvious from the scoreboard. Yeah, he pushed one in and he pushed the other one in. Okay, red would have been up either way because I know they had one. All right, so I'll have to wait a second to fix the scoreboard because I don't know whether they got one or two there. Okay, we got a call for two. Yeah, well, but he pushed in the red, then he pushed in the yellow.
It was yellow.
It was yellow. Okay, all right. From the man who did the measurement, we got the call. One, yeah. Yeah. Well, you did mess with me. That's fine. Okay, so we go into the third end. Oh, oops. I just made a mistake there. One. Update. And then third. Update. So after two ends, Guzman and Klein are tied up 1-1. Now Klein has the hammer. Guzman put his stone in the house. Not sure what was up there. May have overthrown it. But he may just be challenging him. So it wasn't the typical centerline guard. And so Klein answers, but actually overcooks it a little bit. It's going to be in the back 8. Yeah, pretty much parallel, back 4 with the red stone. Guzman says, I don't like this yellow stone. Let's get rid of it. So he immediately calls for the takeout. Okay, we got Major League Baseball World Series Game 4 is off and running. Unless this is some highlights. Okay, takeout's on its way. Going to try to chip the yellow out and keep the red stone counting. And they got it. However, they lined it up, so they set up a pretty straightforward double for Klein. All right, so the takeout is on the way. Looks to be a bit wide, though. Yeah. That's going to go down, alas, as a miss. Going to slide out the back.
I don't think Jared was too interested in signing it. Oh, he did that? Before the game or after? Good on him. Good on him. Good on him. I showed up. Showed Jared out.
All right, so Guzman elects to put up a counting guard on his two near the button, and Puts up a pretty good guard. He did leave it a little open, so he could still probably at least get in there and chip one of them out. If he gets, he could get them both, but it's very tight. He's calling for the draw in. It's probably going to try to corner freeze on it and set up his next shot. Starting to curl, but it's coming in a little hot. It's going to chip out the back red, but it's just going to bump it and then kind of slide the back 12 itself. So that actually helps Guzman. He now has 3 stones lined up top 12, just behind the pin on the button, and then biting a 4-foot behind it. So Guzman is in good shape here, and it's his shot. So he's going to try to probably draw another one into the 8-foot here, put up a little more guard. He may also be just calling for the freeze on his one sitting on the button. Hard to tell, but he certainly was calling for the draw. All right, he's got his broom down out front, so what he's going to do is just try to put them right next to each other, 2 guards up front. A little tap, actually, would be fine, so just to spread them apart a little bit and do a little more guard work. But he'll take the simple guard, and that's what he's going to get. Okay, that's a good shot.
Progressive drive, guys. Progressive drive. That's the drill.
All right, Klein's shot is on the way. Looks like he's trying to get rid of at least one of the guards out front. Looks like it's going to chip the guy in the 12-foot, and he does. Guzman immediately calls for a guard out in front of that yellow one to block the run back. Diet Coke. No. Silver bullet without the alcohol. As ordering some more caffeine. Thank you very much. Okay, so they're trying to guard that, make it so they couldn't do an angle raise on the yellow one. It looks like it overcurled just slightly. It's possible they could do it, but look, now they're just talking about splitting out those 2 red ones up front. Open it up a little bit. All right, somebody is pounding on the door. All right, takeout shot is on its way. Trying to take out the 2. Oh, it's going to just chip the left one and wiggle them around a little bit, then slide out the back. Guzman currently counting 3 with some nice guards up front, looking a pretty good situation for them. Look at the steal. And they're throwing another guard that's just trying to put up a big wall up front and protect those 3 counting stones. Trying to slam the door on Klein here, and they do put up the guard, sliding in right next to the other ones. So Klein has got some work to do here. It does not appear that they have enough room to get around and bump their yellow in. So they may. We'll see. They may try to blow it up. Oh, they're talking a double run back, red into yellow into red. That's a lot of angles that have to be perfect. All right, big takeout on its way. Trying to clear out 2 of the 3 front guards. Here comes the Rocks, going to get 1. Little chip. Oh, and they knocked their own yellow one out. That was unfortunate. Didn't curl enough. Let's check the live dashboard and see if I got anybody watching. All right, we've got 12 people out there. All right, so yeah, that's what we changed at the beginning. We flipped the title card. Go back. All right, Guzman is going to put up another guard on the right side just to block the draw in over there. Probably would not mind if it bit the 12-foot, but doesn't want it any deeper. Does not want to leave a hit and roll opportunity here. Actually, I take that back. Judging from the weight, they may be going to take that Yellowstone out in the back. They're not going to get there. It's going to curl too much. It's going to bump the yellow. Well, that's going to open it up a little bit. It's going to give yellow Klein a draw. And the red stone on the button is actually not on the button. It's just behind it. So now Klein has an opportunity to draw right down to it. That's what the call is. Didn't take them long. All right, so Klein is trying to draw. I'm going to walk over and kind of watch from behind. See if he's still got a gaggle of nutmeggers here spectating. Okay, the shot is on its way. Now I'm behind the house.
So I'll probably be doing the 9 a.m. No, Britt, I think is going to.
I'm signed up for it.
He's doing the 12.
He's doing the 12.
Okay, looks like it's going to curl a little bit too much. It's going to pick on his own Yellowstone.
Play well.
I'm pretty sure I made that clear over the years.
All right, Guzman shooting without the hammer, but he is counting. Actually, now he's counting 4. He's going to try to plug that hole up so there's no chance of drawing in. They're sweeping hard. They may over curl a little bit. It's doing some guard work. So Klein in a bit of a pickle here. Staring down 4 stones. Deciding now to go around the other side. Try to draw one in. He gets all the way to the full 4 foot, and he can cut him down to 1, and that's his objective now, is to cut Guzman down as much as he can. Not very many stones way out here, so it's going to be slow. He's going to have to put a little bit more on it than he thinks.
You both picked up your broom. It wasn't certain what everyone's like, what are you doing? I remember that.
Yeah.
And then it was like, finish. I was like, I'm finished.
The whole farm was like, what are they doing?
Klein has come back out of the hack. Is still thinking a little bit. All right, now he sets back in. And the hammer will be on its way shortly. Okay. Comes out smooth. It's got a decent amount on it. It's all about whether it's got enough, though. Again, it's way out in the weeds. It's going to be slow. The sweepers think it's okay, but now they're kind of walking with it. Now they're pounding it. Oh, boy. I think they may have got a little late. No, they're still sweeping. It's still moving. It's looking promising. All right, cut him down to 3, maybe. Oh, it just dug in. So it looks like it's going to be 4 for Guzman. I'm going to wait just a second, make sure they put up. Yep, they did. So it is now 5. And okay, so it is now 5-1 with that steal of 4 there by Guzman. And so they return to come right back. They throw their first stone without hammer, and they're going to try to put they're just going to put one right in the house. So they're immediately going into a defensive mode. They're just going to force Klein to chase them. Be happy to set up a takeout game. So Klein does not take the bait, just puts up the guard. Interesting, he's actually taking control of the middle. So he's setting up the run back on that red stone. Guzman is going to answer with a guard on top of that yellow stone. Perfect shot would be an angle freeze so that he can't run it back. Probably would take a high guard too on the center line.
Not yet.
Ed Simia. So we've got 2 nutmeg teams into the. And what about the half nutmeg team? Okay. Okay, so he puts up a guard in front of the yellow, makes it very difficult for them to run the yellow back. So Guzman calls to come in and chip the red out. Looks like about 1/3 of it is visible, so it's there. We have had enough motion on our stone, so enough curl that you can throw a down white takeout and get 1.5, maybe even 2 stones of curl, depending on which way it's going on the ice. This appears to me to be way narrow, and it's going to go over onto the other side. I think they came out narrow, so they just let it curl, and they're going to try to put one in on the other side, and they're going to get that. Going to be at least a biter. Oh, did they make a liar out of me? They did. That's not a biter. So Guzman immediately calls to draw another one in. That's already on its way. He's happy with the guard. He initially put his broom in the house like he wanted to bring it in, but now he's out front showing that he'll take the guard. Like it's going to curl back to the center line a little bit, but it's doing some good guard work. Klein is now faced with trying to clean out the middle a little bit, trying to open it up. Looks like Ed Simia's team is reliving their game they just played. All right, here comes the takeout. Looking to run the red into the yellow into the red, or at least get rid of some stuff up front. Oh, and it's a little wide, and it's going to flash. All right, so Guzman is coming down on the left side of the sheet, looking to junk it up even more and block the draw line that's there. I think it's going to curl a little too much. It may end up bumping their red guard. Can't tell for sure over here. If it splits them, it's okay. And that's what it's going to do. Doink. Yep, it's a good result. Leaving the angle raise for Klein. All right, they're looking at splitting the 2 red ones out, leaving lots of opportunities for runbacks. All right, takeout's on its way. Sweepers are just trotting along with the stone. And they like where it's headed, or maybe it's coming a little too up. There we go. Boom, boom. And both red stones are moving. One is gone. The other one's out to the side. That was a good shot. The only downside of that is he left his yellow stone kind of out there in the way. But the other 2 could be bumped in. Guzman calls to guard the run back on the center yellow stone. That's dangerous stone right now. Got one sitting in the 4-foot. He's happy to just guard it up and steal another one. All right, so the guard's on its way. Curling in towards the center line. Very well done. They picked the stone up and set it down where they wanted it. That would probably be where they put it. You actually don't want it directly in line with the yellow stone because that makes the double run back easier. That was a great shot. All right, so Klein's throwing a takeout here. Got a nice hot stone on its way. Question is, going to curl enough? It's going to hit his own stone. Boom, boom. Yeah. Fortunately, just split his own yellows out. Didn't clear the red out. Did kind of open up a tight draw line down to that red, so Guzman will plug that hole up, I'm sure.
No, we haven't had time issues. That's why I was thinking. Run so well.
List of who's in and who, the top five. I was just going to read it out to people. I could just hand you the mic if we want. Craig Doucette here.
My name doesn't have an H.
And his name does not have an H, which I keep trying to put in all the time. Doucette, not Douchette. How was that? Was that better? Doucette. Okay, so Guzman called for the guard, and he's going to get it. Although he's going to leave the draw line open, but he does clog up the middle quite a bit. But there is a tight little draw line coming down the left side. Again, the game we've got going on right now is between Guzman and Klein. The winner will be the sixth team to make it into the playoffs. Craig Doucette just gave me the sheet. The highest ranked team so far right now is Imes, and then Simia from Nutmeg, and Quan, and Dunham, and Messing. That's the top 5 teams. The last team will be determined by the match that we are watching right now. Okay, so Klein feeling some pressure here, and it's going to try to clear out some of those red guards. Okay, that actually did some good for him. Opened up a path on the right side to that red stone. So Guzman will immediately try to put that guard back up. I would put this guard, biting the 12 foot out there on the right side. You want to make it so that they can't get to the red stone, obviously, but also make it so they can't do a hit and roll off of it. If it ends up as a high guard, that also does the work it needs to do. Looks a wee bit narrow to me coming down, but I'm out here sitting off at a funny angle, so who knows? Sweepers are on and off and on and off. Now they think it's okay. Oh, it's diving quite a bit. It's curling back towards the center line. Just barely over the hog by a couple feet. So they did get a high guard out of it. Still leaves a draw line down to that button, or down to that red stone. Whether they can get enough on it to bump it back and be counting, I'm not sure. But they're going to try it.
Like 2.5, maybe 3 years. Well, I kept saying, I was like, it was good, but I haven't been there. Did we Pullman Charlotte? Yes, yeah, I talked. Like, we're gonna put some attractions for young.
Watch this shot from the overhead camera. Again, trying to either put the guard up or get one on the top of the house, just make it hard to get to that. Guarding their counting rock back on the 4 foot. Oh, sorry about that. I take that back. He's trying to hit it. I switched teams there. Oh, and he curled a little bit too much and crashed on the red guards. So now Klein is going to try to shut down that draw line. I'm sorry, Guzman is going to try to shut down the draw line that Klein just opened up. Klein was not throwing it. He was trying to get it all the way down to the red, but it was a little narrow. So the sweeper is on it hard. To block the line, all they got to do is get across the hog line, but they're going to have to work for that. We got some serious sweeping going on here. You can't even see them. Unfortunately, I switched to there. They come into view, and they got it. So it's going to do the job they needed. Yeah, it actually may have over curled enough. They may be able to sneak one in there and go ahead and get down to that red counting stone. Okay, and this is the hammer. So Klein's down to his last shot in this end. And they're calling for the draw down to it. They got to bump it back about 3 feet. So it has to be a heavy draw. I want to stay with this view so we can watch the action on the sheet.
There are those photos, yes. Have you ever been down to the VFW in Pelican Red, Minnesota during the meat wrap? Oh, the meat wrap.
All right, the shot is on its way. The sweepers are on it pretty quick. They got to sneak through that port way up high and then come right down and bump the red. Okay, they're through the port. But the question is whether it has enough. And they're coming off pretty early, so they don't think it's going to make it. So 1 red.
But to answer your question, Leonard's is not actually a grocery store. It is a dairy store. There's certain products that they sell.
All right, so after 4 ends are complete. They're now into the 5th end. Guzman has a commanding 6-1 lead. Well, they didn't put the score up yet, but they will. Okay, it appears that for World Curling Federation cash spiels, they get a timeout after 4 ends. Oh, all right. And Simeon says they don't, but they just took a timeout. Yeah, there's no. This is the last straw of the evening, so yeah. So an unofficial timeout. Okay, we're just going to leave the stream running here as they take their quick break. They'll be back at it soon enough.
I just had to fill out an extra.
Well, it's also like one of my favorite things, the noodles. One in South Norwalk, less of a wait.
Yeah.
We're talking food in the warm room, so always an exciting step. Oh, they got one. Yeah, it's 6-1. Have you been to Eat Noodle downtown Bridgeport? Do it. Good. Right by the theater downtown. You know the yeah.
By the cabaret?
Yeah, by the cabaret.
I like noodles. You could put Plan B. Plan B.
Flip side's better. Flip side's better. Certainly one of the favorite topics of curlers. What to eat after a big game or before a big game. Well, as we're waiting here, I'm watching a little World Series, and the Nationals just have a beautiful out. Third baseman diving to his right, picking the ball up, jumping back up, and firing it over the first baseman. But I'm supposed to be talking about curling, so I believe Houston is up 2-0. I'm sorry if I gave away something that somebody didn't want to know. Go check and see if we have any watchers here. All right, we got a few people watching us. Not a huge crowd, but some. Nicest thing about doing this YouTube recording is that teams can go back and watch their games and, look and say, okay, did we make the right decision in the 5th inning? Maybe we should have gone with a draw instead of the takeout. Or what happened in that shot? How did we miss it? So it's a really nice thing to have, principally for going back and reviewing your games. But if you happen to care, it's kind of fun to watch, and especially this weekend with the cash spiel on. I'm sure we'll have a lot of people watching tomorrow as we have the playdowns for the final. I believe the first draw is Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Then there's a 12 p.m. draw, and then the final between the top 2 teams will be Sunday at 3 p.m. All right, Guzman got control of the game here. But anything can happen. There's 4 innings left still to go. So if I remember right, the playoffs tomorrow, the games in the morning, the top 2 teams get byes. And then the other 4 teams will be playing each other early. And then it'll just be a head-to-head playoff for the last couple games. Okay, so Guzman just put his first stone in, basically saying, "Ha, come get it." And Klein is responding, "Nope, not yet. I'm going to put up the corner guard. I'll deal with that red stone later." That's the call anyway for the corner guard. See if he pulls it off. Stone's on its way. Okay, he's going to get a beautiful corner guard, just about 3 foot off the center line on the right. Setting up to hide behind it later on. Guzman set up for another draw. Could possibly be putting a guard up to guard his one that's biting the 4 foot. 2 guard would be nice. Or he could just pile stuff in the house. Looks like they're going for that 2 guard because they're sweeping hard. And it's a little slow. He's actually got his broom down as a 3 guard. He wants it a little tighter. Curlers will use a numbering system. 1, 2, and 3 up in front of the house, and then each set of rings, 4, 5, 6, and the button is number 7, and then 8, 9, 10, the backs of the rings. So here comes the
Well, I went in looking for my shirt, and then I just carried on.
At this point, outside of Jake, I think all of us probably are not that alert.
Okay, so now Klein has 2 yellow guards over there to the side. I didn't see where he set his broom down, but that's he can use those for sure to hide behind. Well protected now, like, but he still has to deal with that red stone sitting on the biting the 4 foot. Got lots of stones left. Guzman trying to draw in underneath his high red guard, bring it down to his, maybe bump it, or even sneak in behind it. It's going to be tough to get behind it with the line he took. And looks like he's just going to put up another guard up front, going to maybe get a little tap and split them. Yeah, 2 nice high guards. They are lined up to be taken out, so Klein will likely come and throw the takeout and split those red guards out. That's what the call is for. Okay, so he hits the front 2 guards, but doesn't hit. Hits a little bit off to the right and leaves the 1 guard there and loses his yellow stone. And Guzman is going to put another guard back up there. This one looks a little hotter to me. They're just kind of walking along with it. They may just sweep this right in underneath their high guard. Nope, it's fine. It's fine. It's slowed down enough at the end. All right, Klein's calling for the takeout on the front high red guard. He has a reasonable chance of taking out both of them if he hits it just right. Run the front red into the other red and leave them. Doesn't want to leave his shooter out there though. He doesn't need it in the way. Gonna get Boom. And oh, just missed it. All right. He was going for the double there to split them both out. Guzman immediately calls to put it back. He says, I like that guard. I want that guard back where it was. Which is fine. He's got a nice lead, and he can play very defensively. All right, Guzman's guard is on its way. The sweepers are on it pretty hard, pretty fast, so they think it's a little light. And they're coming into view now on the bottom half of the screen, bottom left, and it looks like a pretty good shot. It's over. They had to work to get it over the hog line, but they made it, and it's a good guard. Klein, wait and see what he's going to try to do. Okay, it looks like he's still thinking. Looks like he's going to try to sneak in and peel out the redstone biting the forefoot. And if he's a little narrow, he can clear that front, the closer guard. Sure, that's his plan B. Good night, Larry. All right, so Klein's shot is about to be on its way. Klein's Team Klein. Okay, he put a lot on this stone. Sweeping hard, though. All right, they're past the first guard, and they're going to get the peel. Not a terrible result. Opens it up, leaves a whole left side of the sheet for a shot at that the red biting the forefoot. Of course, Guzman is not going to let that stand. It's going to put a guard up and protect that stone. That's his intent anyway. Guzman's guard shot is on its way. Sweepers are pounded pretty hard, so they think it's a little light. Skip's got his broom down right about a 2. Here it comes. Pretty much exactly what he called for.
Trevor, we miss you.
Also good to like.
All right, Klein clearly going for the takeout given the velocity of that stone that was just released. And the question is, was going to miss the high guard? Nope, he chips the high guard. That may have been his intent. He may have been trying to open it up. I didn't see what the skip actually put down for the broom. So it does open it up some. It's going to force Guzman to put it back. Which Guzman says, okay, I'll put it back. He immediately calls for that guard again.
The proof that I didn't respond to him about staying at my house. Oh, you gotta send it.
Very never. I don't think.
All right, Guzman's guard on its way. He just wants to put up another one to block that draw in down to his stone biting the 4-foot. Looks like it's going to be pretty good. They're off of it, and it's just off the center line. Well done. You're discussing what to do with Captain the dog's tennis ball, which seems to have been left in the warm room. I know Captain was here earlier because when I was listening to the stream, I could hear Captain barking at least once. All right, so Guzman has his red stone biting the 4-foot fairly well guarded. Klein has got to try to figure out a way to deal with it. And this is the first shot with the hammer. Guzman perfectly happy to give up one, but he'll actually prefer the steal one. Right now, he's looking like he may be able to steal another one. Are you updating this game on Curling Zone? Yes. So they both got one with hammer in the first two ends. And then Guzman kind of took control, stole 4, stole 1. Ed Simius updating Curling Zone with this match. It's on right now. So Klein's stone comes in and goes around the front guards, but goes a little bit deep. But it's a very nice shot, beautiful shot, just off the pin, and partially buried, and is counting. So that was a nice shot by Klein there. I don't know whether it's visible or not. Let's go over and take a look. Warm room is starting to empty out, so it's easy to walk around and take a look at things. See if Guzman can get to the stone. Oh no, it's buried quite nicely. Yeah, so he's probably just going to draw down to it. He's okay giving up one, so he can just make it hard for Klein to get to.
Back tomorrow?
I'll be here before 12.
All right, Guzman's shot is on the way. And I believe he's just calling to draw down to the yellow one. Be tough to chip it out because it's tight, but it looks like he's going to bump on the guard. Yeah, he bumped one of his own guards and slid over. Ends up being a fairly decent guard, so that turned out okay for him. It didn't move the red guard enough to open up the one biting the 4-foot. So Klein, with the hammer, is trying to figure out a way to sneak in and get 2. He's got to bite the 4-foot, a solid bite on the 4-foot. So it looks like he's going to try to draw it in. He can use his stone as backing. He just bump into it and then get 2. So the shot is there, but it's very delicate. All right, the stone is on its way. Let's take a look at the shot coming in here. He's trying to slip through that port on to the left or bottom in the view you're looking at and come right down to his own stone. Looking pretty good. It's just a question of whether it's got enough. And I believe it does. Oh, it's going to be close. Go, guys. Go, 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 go. Oh, he comes up 1/2 stone or about 2/3 of a stone short. So Klein picks up 1. Okay, let's go back to the regular view. Let's go over and update the scores on the scoreboard. 2. Guys lose your lucky talisman?
Yeah. No, just Eric in my shirt. Like that'd be amazing. He's like, I want to take a selfie, but you gotta show
What happened to the lucky kitty cat that was sitting here?
Oh yeah, where did
Yeah, there was a little stuffed kitty cat sitting out here. Looks like the kitty cat went over on the bookcase. I don't even know the story of that kitty cat. Oh, okay. So Skinny Larry's daughter, has a little stuffed pink kitty cat that's been living here, and I'm pretty sure the kitty cat hangs around and cheers them on during their games. Larry says that the kitty cat was also part of his cheering section for the Yankees. I will refrain from comment on that, although all the curlers here know that I'm a long-term Dodger fan. And back on the ice, Guzman is trying to sneak one around this guard and put it in the house. They're sweeping really hard, and they just barely miss the guard, and they're going to get a biter maybe. Take a look. Looks like it just came up an inch short, which is fine because that means they can't take it out yet. Klein calls for the draw into the top four. My imperfect warm room judgment says it's a little hot, but they're sweeping it, so they don't think so. Looks like I was wrong again. Weight was just fine, just didn't curl enough. Oh. Okay. All right, so Klein put one in almost to the tee line, but he left it vulnerable. But Guzman actually counter just calling the draw. He did not go for the takeout. Maybe. And there he goes. He's drawing in nicely. Looks like he's going to put this guy right to the top of the 4 foot, maybe a little shy of that. Actually, it is counting. Okay, so Klein is trying to figure out what to do here. Looks like he's calling for the draw in between the red and yellow stones, just trying to draw the button. Oh, here they come. Stone's on its way. The sweepers are cleaning, and now they're on it pretty hard. Actually, that looks like they're trying, which makes more sense. They're trying to chip the red out, and they're going to get contact, but not enough. So red is still going to be counting. Yellow has 2 stones off to the side in the 8 foot. Guzman is biting the 4 foot behind the guards. Guzman calling for the hit and roll off the front yellow. Guzman's takeout is on its way. The sweeper sweep. One sweeper sweep really hard to try to add a little curl to it. Going to hit a little high and just nose it, or just slightly off nose. Going to slip out to the right side. Does some good. Gets rid of a yellow stone. Left with a biter way out there. Probably may not end up mattering, but you never know. Klein calling for the draw down to the button just underneath all the guards. All right, so Klein's draw to the button is on its way. That was the call. Sweepers are on it and off it. Now they're on it again. Trying to hope it curls a bit. Oh, nice shot. It's going to be counting. It's not counting. Oh, they came up just short. The sweepers know they may have come off that a little bit early. What's interesting about that stone, though, is if Guzman doesn't block it, it leaves a possibility of a split where you come down and hit that yellow one that they just threw, bump the red out, and then have the other yellow on the throwing stone slide in, and yellow could theoretically be counting 3. And Guzman's going to try to cut that off and put one up front and make that shot not possible. It looks like he's just trying to chip the yellow right out. If he hits it hard enough, now he's taking out the back yellow. He's just getting rid of yellow stones. Gonna peel out the back yellow. Oh, it didn't even peel, just hit and stick and got rid of it. 6-2 lead. He can afford to be just defensive. Clean out yellow stones whenever he can. So Guzman does have the hammer. He's counting one right now. Klein trying to sneak one in underneath that counting red stone. Trying to steal one. That, again, the bumping his yellow into the red could also leave him counting 2, but may not be the best thing for the steal. But that looks like they might, oh, they're on the front guard. Fortunately, that one curled a little too much. So we're down to skip stones here. Oh, am I right? Or we still got one vice stone to go? I can't tell. Yeah, it looks like this is the last vice stone for Guzman. And since Guzman is standing in the house with a broom in his hand, I think I can be quite assured that it's still the vice. So he's calling for the run back of his red stone into the Yellowstone. Again, his task right now, his goal is just to get rid of Yellowstones. He doesn't even care if he loses one of his red stones. So they're sweeping really hard on this guy. Going to have enough angle. Boom, boom, and he does it beautifully. A very nice shot. The Yellowstone is gone. Red is counting 3, or at least, yeah, they're at least 3, maybe 4. Looks like 3. The two biters, looks like the yellow biter's a little bit more of a bite than the red biter. So Klein calls for the hit and roll to kind of sneak one in there. Doesn't want to give up a big end here. Now he wants to hit the red stone, biting the 4-foot, and slide in underneath the other red stone and his yellow guard. So this is a good example of where the hit is just not good enough. They just hit on the nose and stick. Guzman turns right around and knocks him out. So he's got to get the hit and roll. The sweepers are on it really hard early. Like they're holding it. Won't know for sure till it makes contact. Oops. I think they just overswept that. I did not see what handle they had on it, so it's possible that it just curled more than they thought. So that I could not tell which way the stone was rotating. But it's a miss, and that's what matters. Guzman's going to clog up the front a little bit here. All right, Guzman's shot is on its way. I am presuming that he's going to try to put a guard up. Coming in nicely. Could end up a biter, but that's fine as long as it's up there blocking the way. Sweeping it in a little bit, so right now red is counting 5. Nice thing about that stone is if they hit it on the nose, it doesn't do them any good. So that's a good setup. Klein's got to figure out a way to sneak in there still to try to steal one. All right, Klein trying to sneak through the little gap and do a hit and roll off the red stone. It's still biting the 4-foot. It's a pretty narrow port. That'd be a great shot, but it is there. Let's watch the shot from above. You can see the little port he's trying to go through on the left side of the center line, right between the red and yellow stones. Coming in quite hot. Going to get solid contact and a little bit wide, so it's spilled out. Had to throw it hard to keep it from curling too much to make it through the narrow port, but didn't come back enough. Guzman's looking to see what to do. Taking a look from the front of the house, probably trying to decide whether to just plug the hole up or draw one in, and he calls to plug the hole up. Now they're still thinking, yeah, the vice says, why don't we just draw one in? So now they're looking at possibly, I think, popping the red up front and just spitting the Yellowstone out just to get rid of that little run back, because Klein could hit the red guard up and to the left into his Yellowstone and go right to the button. So I believe, I don't know, that broom doesn't look like, it looks like they're just going to go for the draw. So depending on where this stone ends up, Klein may have that loaded gun for his last shot, but it just depends on whether Guzman can sneak one in there and make it hard. Stone's on its way. We'll switch to the overhead camera and watch this stone come in. Sweepers are on it a little bit now to hold the curl. Now they're both on it really hard. Looks like it might tick. Boink. It did. Okay, so that's interesting. It leaves the shotgun, the lined up red and yellow, hit the red into the yellow for the, although Klein does not have the hammer, but that's probably the best way for him to get one counting. Because right now, red is counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I believe red is counting 4.
Okay, I wonder if they would consider
The gun?
was that, but I actually wonder if they consider or coming to the inside.
Yeah, from over here. Yeah, Ed was pointing out that they definitely have the draw on the right side, and there's plenty of room to get to the 4-foot and be buried.
And even if you're heavy, you might be able to bury
And
it.
and you can come back and sit on that back redstone and be counting.
That'd be a very good freeze.
Right. If the problem with the freezes are often an incredibly good shot to throw in terms of where it leaves you, but they're a very difficult shot to make. Because a bad freeze is
And it varies depending on the situation. But yes, like this would be a situation where the freeze has to be
perfect. Yeah. And they're looking at the gun. They're looking at the red into yellow right to the button.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
range of weight is pretty high. A lot on the transfer anyway.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. And all they need to do is get full 8, I think.
little,
Yeah.
maybe
A
full
little more.
yeah.
Bite the 4 is what they go for. But that gives them,
Critical shot here.
yeah, this is an important shot to keep Klein any chance of staying in the game. So they got to move the Yellowstone to the 4 foot to guarantee their, or to make it very hard. But Guzman will have some run backs. He has the hammer, so he'll have run back shots at it. So, yeah. Klein is just trying to make it so he has to make a shot. So they're discussing the angle and how much curl they're going to get. I will admit I'm nervous that he doesn't have enough broom, but we'll see. I'm not on the ice. I haven't been playing on it. Yeah, he's got to throw probably hack weight here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Stones are 42 pounds a piece, and so you got 84 pounds out there that you're moving around. All right, he's going to make contact, but it's going to be, he did over curl a little bit. Boom, boom. Oh, and it didn't move it enough. Yep, so it curled too much. Okay, we're counting up stones. Oh, and then we got a hand coming up, and this game is over. And so let me update the scoreboard so it's correct. So it was 4 red. Yes. 10-2.
Actually, it wouldn't. You wouldn't. They didn't even throw that. No, you could put it in.
Do it, yeah.
Doesn't matter for our scoreboard. That's just for fun. That's good.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to update this. Final. So Guzman gets 4 in the 6th in, and Klein concedes, and Guzman is the winner, and Guzman will be going on to the finals tomorrow, be in the 6th slot. So again, the finals start up tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Draws at, I said 8. It's 9 a.m. 9 a.m., 12 p.m., and 3 p.m. Okay, for the 3 draws tomorrow. So if you want to see some extraordinary, exciting curling, come down tomorrow at 3 p.m. for the finals. But any one of them will be some good games. So that's it. We're going to wrap it up. Guzman wins technically 10-2 in 6 ins. This is Craig Steffens signing off, and hope to see a lot of people tomorrow. Good night. Unless Ed wants to say something. Nope. Ed's happy, and we're out of here.